Bam! Okay guys, I actually didn't announce that I'm back in the US. I went to Sweden for my October 1st seminar, it was awesome. It was epic. It was really just comforting and exciting to see people way across the world that I don't even know show up to hear me speak. But now I'm doing it again. I'm going to New York for a November 12th seminar. But let's get right on to it. Somebody was like complaining about where I was looking on my iPad, on my high quality like filming device. Sometimes the camera, I accidentally put it on the wrong side and it doesn't. Someone's like, you need to look into the camera like you're looking at us. I digress. I'm going to talk to you guys about what the heck is metabolic damage. I get this question all the time. This is not a new subject, but it'll help you guys understand why some of you take longer to keto adapt. So the internet is very subjective. You'll Google, and all these people are adapting as like before and after. All the weight before and after stuff is very confusing, and so people don't understand if they're adapting or not. So often I say, if you think that you're adapting, you're probably not. People use this terminology too loosely, but let's go ahead and discuss the metabolic damage. So metabolic damage is pretty much everybody, to some varying degree. Now, it can manifest in something like getting shingles, eczema, candida overgrowth, so I'm talking about things that appear on the skin, to poor sleep, to tired when you wake up, crashing in the afternoon, tired at night, wired at night, waking up, a couple of dreams a week, not dreaming at all, colds and flus, chronic, cavities, asthma, we're talking rheumatoid and arthritis, osteoarthritis flare-ups, to there's so many, to lupus, to multiple sclerosis, to nerve damage, to sciatica, people having frozen shoulder, and well, that's not metabolic damage. But the sciatica could be a form of stress, to the tinnitus and all types of things, retinoids disease. Lots of people are starting to develop that, tingling in the fingers, people have tingling sensation in the toes, heart palpitation, low iron, fibromyalgia, like the list goes on and on and on. Whew. So, and we got sirens because it's an emergency. Okay, how does this happen? And it's really interesting because you'll see people and they're walking down the street and they're limping certain ways and they're all screwed up, and you see that they've created damage to their nervous system. You know, your body's giving you signs and warnings to stop, you don't stop. So for example, your thyroid problem. So that's a culmination of a lot of things collapsing in on each other. So people overstretch themselves, they stay up too late, they eat foods that will spike their blood sugar, drop their blood sugar, spike their blood sugar, and every time your blood sugar spikes and then insulin drops it and your hormones can't get it back up, your IGF-1 and glucagon and gluconeogenesis, things of this nature can't get your glucose back up to baseline, the adrenals have to kick in and start dumping extra adrenaline into the bloodstream. So you have all of these sex hormone issues, cortisol issues, also the autoimmune disorders. But with the thyroid, a lot of you guys are like, okay, I didn't get enough sleep, so I went to bed too late. I'm not getting into deep rested sleep, and so you'll wake up tired and head for the coffee. And so you take the coffee and you tell yourself, oh my God, coffee's such an antioxidant, so good for you. And lo and behold, you guys are having caffeine with tons of pesticides sprayed on it because it's a very heavily sprayed food source, a crop, and has mycotoxins and all this kind of nastiness beyond its adrenal response within the body, which create your body to work harder than it's designed to, which spikes your cortisol. So you keep doing that. If your body doesn't have the energy and you force it to crank out energy it doesn't have, the thyroid will try to slow your ass down. And the problem is a lot of you guys still don't listen to the thyroid, so you start doing 5-hour energy drinks and doing espressos all day long. Or taking those naps because you just can't friggin' keep your eyes open at work. So this is when the thyroid begins to very much be compromised, and people start to develop Hashimoto's, where the thyroid just stops working altogether. So a lot of you guys keep getting those little signs and symptoms like retinoids, right? You're getting the tingling of the fingertips because you're so stressed out. You don't stop, you just go for more coffee. So these are kind of the chain reactions of autoimmune. So then also the gut also plays a particular role. So all of us have like some kind of gut issue because we've been, even that one antibiotic pill that you had 1,000 years ago makes the difference. Plus poor food quality, toxins, chemicals, that's a toxin, chemicals and preservatives and all this shit. All this stuff can also weaken your immune system, mess with your gut biome, and we're not eating enough prebiotic fibers foods we really shouldn't have to eat if we ate high quality grass-fed free-range animals that aren't like corn-fed in the wintertime. I mean, we're just screwed on top of being screwed. So yeah, all of these things are a culmination, and your body can't deal with the toxic load, the liver and kidneys. I mean, I haven't got into alcohol and allergenic foods and all this processed crap that totally toxifies your body. A lot of you guys have chronic constipation. I should really do a video about that because I get all these questions about constipation. But these would be characteristics of course, diabetes, heart disease. These are common factors when, let's say with diabetes, when you keep eating high carbohydrate foods, a lot of carbs, a lot of sugars, a lot of sodas, a lot of juices, a lot of candy, and then your blood sugar shoots up too high, insulin, the pancreas has to overwork, your glucose slams down because your body's just dumping bolus amounts of insulin, which slams your blood glucose down. And once that blood glucose shoots down and you still gotta work, right? You still have children to take care of or whatnot, then the adrenals have to do this kind of like push out of adrenaline. And that's what that second wind is. But you actually are creating adrenal fatigue or adrenal insufficiency, or people start to get cortisol so low, which is essentially the wake-up hormone or an anti-inflammatory hormone in the right context or in the right amount or right secretion. But we are constantly cortisol driven, which creates a thing called pregnenolone steal, which is robbing for your sex hormones. You cannot win for losing. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, you've never been skinny and you don't have any kids, and so you don't, you just don't know what you're talking about. But I do. I actually do. My ass of being 49 and I will be 50 next year. It's actually less than a year now that I'll be 50 years of age. And of course, this is the business, right? That's what I've been saying in many, many videos with almost 9 years now of being straight in ketosis without refeeding. So I think that's going to be my next video, like what is that like? But I really just wanted to go over those symptoms like stomach aches and people have got too low stomach acid, right? A lot of you guys have low stomach acid, you can't digest the damn meat, and then you have like acid reflux, and you guys develop the constipation and the gut bloating, and I mean the list goes on and on. So what I obviously suggest as a solution is to sort of do like a Stephanie Gaps protocol, which is to eliminate all allergenic foods, because you guys might have developed histamine intolerance, which is also an autoimmune response, your body kind of attacking itself. You can't understand what you've done to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like toxic load. So you might rewind. You might want to do an elimination diet of foods that might be problematic. Now, just because you can eat cheese and you don't feel anything once you digest it doesn't mean that the casein is not wrecking your body. If you don't believe me, look in the mirror at the reaction of a gut dysbiosis to your face. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Question why that you crash in the middle of the day. So clean out your shite. Those who've developed histamine intolerance have to watch out for like fish and aged meats, processed meats, cinnamon, lemon, egg whites, nuts, cheese, obviously, avocados. People are like, oh my God, I can't eat anything. I was like, there's a lot more food than those food groups I just mentioned. But you have to pay attention. Your body starts to develop sensitivities because you develop holes in the gut lining, which is the leaky gut factor, which is why you might have loose stool or you might have constipation. I mean, that's a huge thing. People cannot poop. They cannot poop. or they're pooping too much, or they've developed IBS or Crohn's because they just keep eating them damn crackers. Yeah, they keep having the tortillas, but they're like, I don't eat it very often. And there's a thing called cross reaction where your body begins to mimic even rice and oats and dairy, even with ghee, your body reacts to it. So clean it all out. Try using lard, which this one woman was like, okay, I went and saw lard and I got some and it's really, really great. And then I mentioned pork belly. She's like, I don't do pork. I don't do pork. And I was like, what do you think lard is? She's like, I was like, girl, chill out. You've got adrenal fatigue and you have full-on Hashis. You know what I'm saying? And food sensitivities. If lard is helping you heal, eat it, right? You want to find well-sourced pork that is free range and they're not eating a bunch of corn and they're not eating their own poop. That was the original problem, is pigs eating their own crap, because people throw food on the floor of the pig pen and then they're eating their own crap and getting viral infections and parasites and all this kind of stuff. But I digress. Learn about your condition. Do an organic acid test. See what metabolites end up in the urine, right? You want to see your glutathione production. You want to see if your brain is uptaking the amino acids, if it's using tyrosine, if your serotonin levels are in balance. You want to see if you have the gut infections, the parasites within the urine. Yes, we can do stool tests. But really, I really feel that men should also do testosterone check. Women, it's pretty evident when you are estrogen dominant, the PMS, bad menstrual cycles, I already mentioned fibroids, and the endometriosis. These are autoimmune. This is your body attacking itself, right? Growing tumors or scar tissue within the uterus. And so women are not having 28-day cycles that last up to at least 5 days. They're like, oh my God, my period's totally normal. It lasts 2 days. And I'm like, and you can see it. You can see that they're estrogen dominance with their menstrual cycle lasting only 2 days. So these are the things that you have to consider. Clean out all the crap, add a ton of fat. If you have a hard time with butter, try lard. If you have a hard time with lard, try beef tallow, right? Chicken tallow, there's different tallows that your body can. If you have a hard time digesting the fat, you have to encourage those stomach acids to go back up. Sometimes apple cider vinegar will help, but sometimes apple cider vinegar reacts to people who've got histamine intolerance. These are general concepts on what is autoimmune. I've described a list of conditions, and all of those things can block your keto adaptation. And the medication that you take, like Armour and Synthroid, and medications for your RA and anti-inflammatories and NSAIDs and birth control pills and HRTs for men and the freaking pellets and all this shit. All these things can block your keto adaptation because it's toxic. It's a toxic load to the liver. Anytime the body's stressed out, it will produce sugar. Booyaka! So get to bed. It's my #1 supplementation. Get some blue blockers, some magnesium, some potentially chamomile leaves, especially if you got issues with the tea bags because the mycotoxins. Get rid of all the allergenic foods. Up that fat. Keep your protein quite moderate. Don't overextend yourself in the workouts. Give your adrenals a chance to heal. People are like, should I do HIIT training? And I'm like, but you have adrenal fatigue. We don't want to get our breath up like that. Okay guys, I'm peacing out. You can catch me in New York. You can go to my website for tickets, stephanieperson.com, for a live seminar. I did one in Sweden. I had a live broadcast as well. People seem to love it. Woo! Trust me, because if they didn't, I wouldn't be talking about another one. I will be potentially now going to Australia. I thought I was going to Korea, but that fell apart. But now I might be going to Australia to be doing a seminar there. I love it. I love actually just meeting the people instead of doing these whack ass, well, they're not whack, but they're wacky quality, all right, videos. I'm also going to incorporate, I keep saying that I'm going to incorporate workouts on my site. I'm going to be writing workout plans. I'm incorporating this whole new side of exercise and keto. I have my methodology. I love time under tension, but 15 to 20 reps is making people hella sore, and that's not working on their keto adaptation. Love you, Doug McGuff, but it doesn't always coincide with keto. So I've created new types of workouts for those who are especially in their first stages of their keto adaptation. StephaniePerson.com, Stephanie the Business Person, my Facebook fan page, if you want to check that out. Stephanie Ketogenic on my Instagram, Steph the Business on my Periscopes. And people keep asking me what my website is. I'm like, every video, stephanieperson.com, unless I get cut off, which I'm not. So peace out. Booyah! Energy.